In the realm of corporate kingdoms, where towers of glass pierce the heavens and data flows like rivers of liquid starlight, there lived a ruler named Andy Byron. At 51 winters old, he commanded the company called Astronomer, a fitting name, for they mapped the constellations of information that danced across the digital cosmos. Andy Byron was no ordinary chief executive. Those who worked beneath him whispered that he could read the future in streams of code, that he could bend algorithms to his will with but a thought. His kingdom, nestled in the sprawling citadel of New York, thrived under his guidance. But even the mightiest rulers harbor secrets in the shadowed chambers of their hearts. On the 16th day of July, in the year 2025, an ancient and powerful ritual was set to occur. A gathering of souls at the sacred grounds of Massachusetts, where the bard Chris Martin and his fellowship known as Coldplay would weave their musical enchantments. Tens of thousands would make pilgrimage to witness this spectacle, to be touched by melodies that some said could open doorways between worlds. Andy Byron felt the pull of this summons. Perhaps it was fate, perhaps it was folly, but he secured passage to the concert grounds, and with him came Kristin Cabot, a woman of 53 winters who held the title of Chief People Officer. In the corporate realm, she was the keeper of souls, the one who tended to the hearts and minds of all who served Astronomer. Their journey together was cloaked in shadow and secrecy. What manner of bond existed between the CEO and his Chief People Officer? None could say for certain. Some claimed they were merely colleagues. Others whispered of something more, something forbidden in the rigid hierarchies of the corporate kingdoms, where relationships between those of unequal power were viewed with suspicion and dread. As twilight descended upon the concert grounds, an otherworldly energy began to build. The stadium itself seemed alive, a great coliseum breathing with anticipation. Tens of thousands of souls packed into the seats, their excitement creating waves of palpable magic in the air. Andy and Kristin found their places among the multitude. Two faces in an ocean of humanity. Perhaps they believed they could disappear here, become anonymous beneath the cover of darkness and crowd. How wrong they were. How terribly, magnificently wrong. The bard Chris Martin took the stage, and reality itself seemed to shimmer. His voice, when he sang, carried harmonics from dimensions beyond mortal comprehension. The crowd swayed as one organism, united by the primal power of music that predated language, predated thought itself. Then came the moment that would alter the fabric of Andy Byron's existence forever. High above the stage, an enormous eye opened. The Jumbotron, that great oracle of modern gatherings, that mechanical god which sees all and reveals all. During Chris Martin's performance, a peculiar song began to play. One the bard called the Jumbotron song. This was no ordinary melody. This was a spell of revelation, a magical working designed to illuminate the hidden truths of those caught in the oracle's gaze. The great eye began to scan the crowd, its vision penetrating the darkness, searching, seeking. The kiss cam, they called it. An ancient ritual where couples would be displayed before the masses and expected to demonstrate their affection. Innocent enough when it captured young lovers or devoted spouses. But the oracle cared nothing for innocence. Its gaze fell upon Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot. Time seemed to stop. The moment stretched and twisted like taffy pulled by invisible hands. There, projected onto a screen 50 feet high, visible to every soul in attendance and to the countless more watching through scrying devices from across the realm. Andy Byron appeared with his arms wrapped around Kristin Cabot in an embrace that spoke of intimacy, a forbidden connection. The bard Chris Martin, channeling powers beyond his understanding, began to improvise lyrics about what the oracle revealed. His words became reality, became truth, became judgment. The crowd gasped and murmured. Somewhere in the darkness, someone's phone, that modern wand of capture and dissemination, recorded the moment. Andy felt the heat of 10,000 eyes upon him. In that instant, he understood that the oracle had seen not just his body, but his soul. Every hidden feeling, every secret meeting, every moment stolen from the life he had built, all of it was now exposed beneath the pitiless gaze of revelation. Kristin pulled away, horror dawning in her eyes. This was no intimate concert hall where shadows could hide them. This was a coliseum of light, and they had been selected for sacrifice. The recording, once captured, could not be uncaptured. Like a curse spoken into the wind, it spread. By the time the concert ended and the pilgrims dispersed into the night, the video had already begun its journey across the digital cosmos. It moved through the mystic networks of Instagram, the sprawling libraries of Twitter, the endless scroll of TikTok. By morning, Andy Byron's face was known to millions who had never heard of Astronomer. The embrace had become a symbol, a cautionary tale, a moment of schadenfreude for the masses who loved nothing more than watching the mighty fall. The board of directors of Astronomer, that high council of merchants and sorcerers who governed the company, convened an emergency session. They watched the video again and again, their faces grave. This was no mere public embarrassment. This was a violation of the sacred codes that governed their realm. Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, they realized, had broken the fundamental law that forbade romantic entanglement between those of unequal rank. The CEO and the chief people officer, one who held ultimate power, one who held the power to hire and fire. Their relationship created a corruption in the very structure of the organization. On the 18th day of July, a decree was issued. Andy Byron was placed upon leave while an investigation would commence. The announcement echoed through the halls of Astronomer like thunder before a storm. Employees whispered in break rooms and conference chambers. The kingdom was in chaos. Pete DeJoy, co-founder and chief product officer, was summoned to serve as interim CEO. He accepted the burden with grim determination, knowing that he must hold the realm together while the investigation ran its course. But Andy Byron knew the truth. He had seen it in the oracle's eye at the concert, had felt it in the cold silence from the board. There would be no redemption, no second chance. The kiss cam had not merely captured a moment. It had revealed a destiny. On the 19th day of July, Andy Byron tendered his resignation. The board accepted immediately. The kingdom of Astronomer would need to find a new ruler, someone untainted by scandal, someone who could restore faith among the employees and investors. Yet the story did not end there. For Kristin Cabot, the chief people officer, the keeper of souls, the aftermath proved equally devastating. How could she continue to tend to the hearts and minds of Astronomer's people when her own judgment had failed so catastrophically? How could she enforce policies of appropriate workplace behavior when she herself had violated them? On the 24th day of July, Kristin Cabot followed Andy Byron into exile. Her resignation was announced quietly, without fanfare, but its impact rippled through the organization nonetheless. Both architects of the scandal were now gone, banished from the kingdom they had helped to build. In the days that followed, sources close to Kristin would claim there had been no affair, that the embrace was merely inappropriate judgment, nothing more. But the oracle had spoken. The Jumbotron had shown its truth. And in the court of public opinion, perception mattered more than protestations. Some whispered that Andy Byron considered seeking revenge against Coldplay itself, against the band whose Kiss Cam had destroyed his empire. Legal experts scoffed at such notions. The oracle could not be sued for revealing truth. The bard Chris Martin could not be blamed for channeling powers beyond his control. What happened at the concert was simply fate manifesting itself, karma arriving on schedule. And so the tale of Andy Byron passed into legend, a cautionary story told in boardrooms and business schools, a reminder that in the age of ever-watching oracles and recording wands, there are no true secrets. Every shadow holds a camera. Every moment might be broadcast to millions. The company Astronomer endured, as organizations do, adapting and healing around the wound of scandal. New leadership emerged. Policies were reviewed and strengthened. Life continued in the corporate kingdoms of glass and steel. But on quiet nights, when employees worked late in the Astronomer offices, some claimed they could still hear it. The faint strains of the Jumbotron song drifting through the ventilation systems like a ghost. The melody that had revealed too much. The song that had toppled a kingdom. Chris Martin and Coldplay continued their tour, unaware of the magnitude of destruction they had wrought with a simple concert tradition. The Kiss Cam claimed other victims at other shows, though none so spectacular, none so complete. As for Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, they vanished from the public eye, disappearing into the vast anonymity that awaits all who fall from great heights. Perhaps they found peace somewhere beyond the reach of oracles and recording devices. Perhaps they learned that some embraces, no matter how genuine, carry too high a price when conducted under the wrong stars. The moral of this tale, if such modern fables have morals, is ancient and unchanging. The truth will out. Whether revealed by prophets or Jumbotrons, by oracles or algorithms, what we hide in shadow will eventually face the light. And when that moment comes, no title can protect us. No position can shield us. We are all, in the end, just two people caught on camera, frozen in time, our secrets exposed to a world that watches and judges without mercy. The oracle sees all. The Jumbotron remembers everything, and the music plays on,